Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Weekly Reads. My name is Devon and I'm one of the librarians at the Worcester Public Library, and of course I'm joined by my fellow librarian Joy.
Thank you, Devon. It's so nice to be here again.
Of course, and Joy and I have picked out another great selection of books for you this week. Don't forget that everything we're talking about is available online through Libby, Overdrive, or Hoopla. Each slide tells you where you can find the title, and if you're not sure how to use those free services, just give the library a call and we'll help you sort it out. So we have a lot of great books lined up for you this week. I'm just going to switch screens to show you what we have in store. Okay, we have a really good selection this week, so let's just get started. The first book is Trapeze by Simon Maurer. It's an historical fiction spy thriller, and it was written in 2012. It does have a companion book called Tightrope, which follows the main character. Her name's Marion, and in Trapeze, she's just out of school and working for the British war effort, but she stands out because she's a native French speaker. This gets the attention of the SOE, which trains agents for occupied Europe. Drawn into this world at just 19, she goes through commando training and parachutes into France to join the resistance. Trapeze blends fact and fiction as we follow Marion, an ordinary young woman like her real-life counterparts in the SOE. Booklist gave this a starred review. They said, with lyrical and spare prose, Maurer vividly describes deprivations in a war-occupied country and provides testimony to the courage of members of the French resistance. I'm about halfway through this book right now, and I definitely agree with what Booklist said about Maurer's lyrical and spare prose. He doesn't make it too flowery, he doesn't describe things for too long, but it's very well written. One scene that stuck out for me so far is when Marion first parachutes into France, and just the excitement of it. Describes the parachute opening and sounding like a sail that's filling with wind, and she laughs at the joy of it, and later she wonders how she'll ever feel anything so intense and exciting again in her whole life. So it does portray her realistically, even though she's trained to be a commando and a spy. She's still 19. She's still working through emotions and trying to act older than she is. So I just think it's really well written, and I really recommend it. Let's go for Joy's first book.
Well, Devon, that's exactly the way I would feel if I ever had the opportunity to skydive. Excited? Just a little bit of abject terror mixed in.
Me too.
So my first choice for this week is Nothing Fancy, Unfussy Food for Having People Over by author, columnist, social media star, and millennial Alison Roman. You may have already heard of Alison Roman, and in fact, you may already own a copy of her wildly popular book. And if you do, I bet you've already tried at least one of her recipes, because I guarantee that once you've seen her food, you're going to want to taste it. Nothing Fancy, a New York Times bestseller, has garnered high praise from the likes of The New Yorker, The Washington Post, and Bon Appetit. Chowhound calls it a modern classic. And Julia Miskin of the Times said that it is full of food that is crunchy, cheesy, tangy, citrusy, fishy, smoky, and spicy. Hungry yet?
Yes.
Well, if you want to do old school formal entertaining, air quotes, with folded napkins and perfect place settings, this may not be the book for you. Roman is all about making dinner just as you would on an ordinary evening at home, only with more people. She wants to take the fuss out of food. These days, we may feel nostalgic about a time not so long ago when we could even imagine having 15 of our closest friends gathered around the table. Well, rest assured, that time will come again. But until then, we can read, experiment, plan, fantasize, cook, and my favorite part, eat. And as that great inspiration to foodies everywhere, Julia Child would say, bon appetit.
And Joy and I found this recipe from the book online to share with you to show you how delicious it looks.
I mean, how yummy is that? I just want to jump right through the screen and grab it.
I'm pretty sure I could eat that whole thing. But here's my next book. The Tethered Mage by Melissa Caruso. If you didn't know, Melissa Caruso is going to do a live virtual Zoom event with us on May 13th, which is a Wednesday at 2:30, and she's going to talk about pursuing the creative dream. Just like her, I'm sure a lot of writers wonder how they can adjust their schedules and continue following their creative dreams, and that's what she's going to share with you, tips on how she managed to do that. So this is book 1 in the Swords and Fire trilogy. All 3 books are out right now. When this one came out, Caruso was shortlisted for the Gemmell Morningstar Award for Best Newcomer Author of Fantasy. Magic is scarce in the Riveran Empire, and those born with powers are taken as children and conscripted into the Falcon Army to be used as weapons. But Zara has lived on the streets, hiding her mage mark and stealing to survive. But hers is a rare and dangerous magic, one that threatens the entire empire. And Lady Amalia, she was never meant to be a falconer. Heiress and scholar, she was born into a world of politics and betrayal, but fate brings these 2 women together. The book got a great review from author Anna Smith Spark, who said that it's intricate and enticing like silk brocade, with a heroine that's strong and intelligent, and a beautifully evoked Renaissance world of high politics, courtly intrigue, and warlocks. So I just finished this book. It was fast moving and it was fun. It was fast for all the action. There's magic and intrigue. There's poisoning attempts and assassination attempts. And I had no clue who the major bad guy was until the very end. But it's fun because of the conversations. The characters are portrayed very strongly, great character development. And Amalia and Zara are complete opposites. So when you put them together in a room trying to have a conversation, it can make it pretty funny. So I'd recommend this book, and I recommend that you sign up for our talk by Melissa Caruso coming on Wednesday, the 13th.
I'll definitely be there.
Oh, excellent.
Well, my next choice is The Secret History of Wonder Woman by West Boylston native and Harvard historian Jill Lepore. Lepore has won a Bancroft Prize and been nominated for both a Pulitzer and a National Book Award for previous work. So it seems a bit odd that in this case, she has chosen to tackle the subject of a female superhero and the man who invented her. William Moulton Marston was a big, audacious psychologist and publicity hound who attempted to accomplish big things and failed in most of his endeavors. Yes, he invented the lie detector, but he never profited from it. And he did go to Hollywood to be house psychologist to one of the big studios, but he was fired pretty quickly and returned home to Rhine, New York, where he lived with his wives and 4 children. You heard me correctly. Marston, with no religious motivation whatsoever, was a polygamist who shared his life with 2 women for decades. Holy reality TV. He was also, however, an avowed feminist. And it was feminism that inspired him to create Wonder Woman, a superhero every bit as bold and courageous as her male counterparts. In this endeavor, at least, he was a success. In her heyday, Wonder Woman was right behind Superman and Batman in terms of popularity, and she has since become a feminist icon, appearing on the cover of the very first issue of Ms. Magazine in 1971. Now, I have to admit that I raised my eyebrows a little bit about this feminist icon business, what with the bustier and the boots and the little tight shorts. But trust me, a feminist icon she is. Gloria Steinem said so. So Lepore uses Wonder Woman as a lens through which to view the early days of comic books, the history of feminism, and the life and times of one extraordinary, if eccentric, man. The book has earned scores of rave reviews from publications as diverse as the Wall Street Journal and Family Circle. But remember, this book deals with mature themes and will be best appreciated by adult readers.
Wow, there's obviously a lot of things I don't know about Wonder Woman. I might have to check this book out. My next title is our coming soon title. So this book is coming out on May 12th, Tuesday. It's not on Overdrive or Libby yet, but I suspect it will be soon because the book sounds like it's going to be amazing. It's a most anticipated novel right now by Cosmopolitan, Forbes, Good Housekeeping, Newsweek, Harper's Bazaar, Ms. Magazine, and more. It's a Gothic debut of literary suspense set within a secluded elite university and following a rebellious undergraduate who discovers a secret about a certain circle of students and the dark truth behind her school's promise of fame. This book's being compared to The Secret History by Donna Tartt and Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. And I remember when those books first came out, they were a big deal. So if you liked either The Secret History or Never Let Me Go, I'd very much recommend Catherine House. And that wraps up our selection.
Wait, Devon, I have to ask you a question.
What is it, Joy?
Of the two books that you've actually read, you know me, which one would you recommend for me?
Well, that's a good question. I would like to recommend the fantasy book to you because I think you need to find a good fantasy series, and that's what this is. But I know you love history and you like subterfuge, so I think that trapeze is a natural answer for you.
Okay, I'm all about dark, I'm all about espionage, so trapeze is the one I'll grab. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I hope there's something there for you, the patrons, that you find interesting in this week's lineup. Don't forget, if there's a special subject or genre you'd like a recommendation for, just say so in the comments below and Joy and I will see what we can do. But until then, next week we'll have another round of weekly reads for you. So thanks so much for watching and stay safe.
See you later, fellow readers.